Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Today's Toastmaster experience of icebreaker reminds me of my first ever public speaking once I was in grade 5. I had to deliver a 15 to 20 lines prepared speech. I rehearsed well and was confident that I am going to do well. But what happened on the final day was, once I was right in mid of my speech, like a confident speaker, I tried to establish eye contact with the audience. And there I spotted a man with a red cap, and that man happened to be my friend's dad. And what happened next, I just started thinking about my friend, and I left totally track of speech. I just remembered that somebody shook my shoulder and pulled me down the stage. And I was told that I stood in that mum position for a minute or so. What could be that experience for a fifth grader like me? It really shattered my self-confidence. For next 2 years, I decided I will never do it because I can't do it. I avoided all the stage speaking opportunities because I thought I will not do it and I can't do it. But by looking at my peers who were doing very well and who were liked by the teachers just because of this quality, as I thought that they can speak well, I decided no, I have to come back and I have to do it. So it was, I think, about 2 years and few months, I had an opportunity to speak, and I gave my name for that. And while sitting next to the stage, waiting for my turn, and I was just thinking about the last trauma of Red Cap incident, I really started shivering, sweating, and I requested the presenter or the moderator that please give me some time, I need some time to calm down. During that time, few minutes which I was given, so I thought that this is the last opportunity I have. If I don't do it today, I'll never do it. I will shiver in my life throughout my coming years. And I really did that day. I overcame that fear of speaking and I did fairly well. These 4 to 6 minutes I think are not enough to tell you my life story. So I'll just pick 2 aspects of my life. My love for different cultures and the mountains. So my interaction with different cultures started early in my life. By default, of course, my parents, they are from different 2 cultures of Pakistan. Their families speak different languages. And my dad is in military, so by the time I graduated from high school, so he has traveled around the Pakistan and I have visited all the 4 states with different cultures and knew them to some extent. So maybe that was a reason that I decided that in future I should pursue anthropology as my career. After graduating from college, I joined an NGO and worked in Africa for a couple of months and had an opportunity to observe African culture from quite close range. Then military gave me another opportunity to come back to Africa for a year or so, but this time I was on a part of United Nations team negotiating with warlords and seeing a different brutal face of African culture. Then I visited Australia also, some of you have gone there. So again a different side and now back to United States. So this my move from Asia to Africa, back to Asia, Australia and then to United States is not only move of my driving wheel from right to left side, right side, now left side and next month going back to right side, but it is a complete move of cultures and meeting with the people and how do they interact. So my romance with the mountains is not new too. I was a Boy Scout. I loved to go out in the mountains. I was part of college hiking team. And then once I was in military, by default again I had to go on the high altitudes. So we have the K2, the second highest mountain of the world after Mount Everest. I had opportunity to visit its base camp 2 times. Why I selected these 2 aspects? Once I visit different cultures and interact with the people, all the cultures, they have so many strong points. They enrich my personality and my approach towards life. And the mountains, by default and sometimes by force and option, they give me quite enough of a private time to reflect upon my life. Once I'm stranded alone, I can think about my relationship with the people and how I have to improve my life. I think I have tried to give you some part of my life story, which started from my stage fright to mingling with the people and to love for the mountains. I hope with the coming opportunities in the Toastmaster, I would try to explain myself much more better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially Faisal. My number one speech was not very long ago, so I remember the nerves and the excitement that accompanied that challenge. I just want to first off congratulate you for handling that so eloquently. The purpose of the icebreaker is to introduce himself to the club and begin speaking before an audience. The speech should have a clear beginning, body, and ending. You did that flawlessly, no issues. So first off, you approached the podium extremely confidently, and you had an immediate presence as a speaker. And you look like you've done this many, many times before. There was obviously no red hat in the audience for you this time. Secondly, you opened up with a personal story, and I think that met several objectives. First off, it gave us a bit of a look into your childhood, and you also caught our attention with that story. And lastly, you were able to relate to us in a way, because all of us are here for our own reasons, whatever that red hat might be for us. Lastly, I think it's a challenge to give a lot of that information in just 4 to 6 minutes for your opening icebreaker. But within that short period of time, you were able to share a personal story. You gave us a peek into your vast amount of travels, which is very impressive, everywhere that you've been. And you also talked to us about your love for the mountains. So you did a great job of packing in a lot of content. And I know you can't go too deep into it, but you were able to still give us a look into you and what makes up the depth of who you are as a person. And then lastly, your conclusion did a really good job of recapping everything that you talked about, that you had discussed throughout your entire time. So I know for the sandwich method, we're supposed to have the bread, the meat, and the bread again. And I'm glad this is not a literal sandwich, because this would be a very not tasty sandwich. So here's a little bit of innards here. Your pacing of words was really good, but you were missing some of the pauses that you could have used in between the major sections. And I think this is a bit of hypocritical of me to even give you this criticism, because I'm someone that talks extremely fast. But I think it takes one to know one, so I'm just letting you know. So just give us that time to kind of digest the different portions of your speech. Overall, I was extremely impressed by your confidence and your presence. I think that was the biggest thing. You spoke extremely clearly and audibly the entire time, and you were obviously well prepared. I noticed that you had no notes in front of you. And I think sometimes even when people don't use notes, they'll still bring something as a backup, and you didn't even have that, and I think that clearly shows your confidence in approaching the podium. Your project number 2 is organize your speech, and I know that you mentioned that you might not be here because you'll be graduating soon, but hopefully we do get to see that speech if you have the time, and we are very much looking forward to